The unemployment has skyrocketed because of the coronavirus pandemic. And if you're one of the millions of Americans who has lost their job, you may be wondering what to do next. Well, we're happy to have business analyst and CPA Dan Geltrude. He joins us now to walk us through the steps you can take for financial help. Dan, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Sasha.
Good morning. So the number of people who have been laid off is truly unprecedented. What's the first thing someone should do if they lose their job?
The numbers of unemployment right now are just staggering. So if you find yourself in that unfortunate situation, the first thing you're probably experiencing is some anxiety and there's uncertainty. So these days, although I'm a CPA, I'm spending a lot of time being a financial therapist. So I tell people, look, calm down. There are options here. And the first thing that you really need to do is apply for unemployment. And there is a benefit here, not just on the state level, which was the norm before the pandemic started, but now the federal government is providing additional unemployment benefits of $600 a week. So for a lot of people, that is going to be extremely helpful in hopefully just getting them through this hump when we ultimately can return back to normal and people can get back to working.
Absolutely. Certainly a big help that we're getting, and take us through some of the options people have to cut costs. I mean, you would think we're not spending a lot while we're staying at home.
Well, the first thing that you want to do is, the cost of your home or your apartment rental. If you're in a situation where you've lost your job, the first thing that you should do if you have a mortgage is to reach out to your lender. Have a conversation with them. Let them know what's happened. And in most cases, lenders are willing to work with borrowers, over, let's say, a 90-day period to make sure that they're going to be able to survive. The same thing is true with landlords. If you're a renter and you have a situation where you've lost your job, reach out to your landlord, explain the situation, and try to come to some terms that both sides can live with. Once again, this is all going to be temporary until we can get past this pandemic.
Definitely. We're all having to be a little bit flexible in these days that we're going through. Now, what about the emotional side of losing a job? That takes a toll as well.
It certainly does. And that uncertainty, because that's what causes anxiety, is specifically financial anxiety. You have to, as silly as it sounds, there is a way to feel better by just saying, I am certain about my uncertainty, because just that simple statement gives you a recognition that there is certainty. So I try to tell people, go through that process first. And again, there are options. It's not the end of the world. It's not a great situation, but coming to terms with the circumstances as they are will be helpful. For example, look at the stock market. The thing that throws the stock market off most is uncertainty. The stock market right now is actually not doing so bad given the circumstances we have. Why? Because they kind of know in the market where things stand. It's when the unexpected happens that really throws a wrench into the works. That's true with the stock market, and that's true with us as individuals.
Okay, that's a nice perspective. Thank you for bringing some peace to that. Now, if we have a family or a family member or friend who's maybe out of work, how can we support them or offer some help?
Well, some of the best things that you can do is provide guidance and try to listen. Part of this process, and I think that Americans will be better off for it down the road, is that times are not always going to be good. So take a look at what your expenses are. I am sure everyone has some room to be able to cut costs. There are just things that we spend money on, I'm sure, that we just don't think about. Well, now is the time to think about those things. So besides the emotional support and whatever people may need as far as food and other essentials, I think, just listening and providing some guidance is extraordinarily helpful for people who are feeling that financial anxiety right now.
Wonderful. Dan, Geltrude, thank you so much for all this information, and we wish you all the best. Stay safe.
Thank you, Sasha.